Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of Project Architect 2, and today we are going to get into making the skillet, the cooking pot, and then the pig. So all of this should be done by this episode, and yeah, this has been a long time coming at this point, because we've got quite a few episodes done with just doing one or two things, but hopefully we'll be able to power through and get this going. So first things first, of course, I'm just going to make up a power flower. If you don't know what a power flower is, basically it's the max amount of energy collectors you can put on an energy condenser, using the antimatter relays as bridges, basically, to produce more EMC inside of the energy condenser. So you can see that I am covering, or attempting to cover, all the sides of these antimatter relays with these energy collectors. And did I miss one up there? I did. And then, of course, down here as well. And we need to break this stuff. I think I made this a little lower than I was hoping, but that's okay. We should still be good. We can just keep that little dugout, and then we can do the pulverizer there. I think... Actually, hold on. Let me move this, because I think what I want to do is I want to have the pulverizer. And I guess I should have done this originally. I do have the pulverizer, and I probably want to put the power flower directly above this. I don't know why I didn't do it this way, but that's okay. I can move this. And then we just do block, which will be a pipe, energy condenser right there. Okay, let's get that swapped around, which isn't going to be difficult at all. All we got to do is just this, and then just rebuild it. So let me do that. Be right back. Okay, it's been rebuilt. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure you get glowstone and put glowstone on top of all of the exposed energy collectors. Oop, not there. There we go. And that is a completed power flower. And then we can just kind of get this area filled in back here. And that should be golden. We're going to probably take one out so we can actually get a pipe in here. But after we set this, it should just be set it and forget it. So let's do input. And then we will do... Oh, there's the create wrench there. Okay. And then we need to make sure we disable that back one. And then we now need to just grab a piece of raw iron. And that is going to start getting us the raw iron. Perfect. Okay. We'll put this guy back, and that should speed up the production of the iron there. All right, let's get rid of these blocks here. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to separate the iron dust and the nickel, because you do get nickel from pulverizing raw iron. We're just going to do 2 drawers here, and we're going to do... I have raw, and then I have the raw iron here as well. So we're just going to do... Actually, no. Not this one. Not raw iron. Iron dust. My bad. Iron dust, nickel dust. And that should be good. I do believe. Okay. And we just need to do pipes and lock these in here. And then that should allow for us to... Oop, not... Why am I changing that one? I need to change this one to output. And then that way we just do this with no problems whatsoever. And then that should be fast enough to keep up with this until we, like, augment this, which I don't really plan on doing right now. And then we take the obsidian furnace. We're going to put that right here. We're going to shift click into the middle, input, auto input, and then output on top, which means that we do need another drawer. Hey, quick interjection here. If you guys are enjoying the content, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could leave a like and or subscribe, or leave a comment, as, you know, hearing from you guys, advice, feedback, things you want to see in the pack, things I might be doing wrong, anything like that is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys. Now let's get back into the video. Okay, open drawer, perfect. And that will be output there. And then to power this, that's why I've got actual multiple thermo generators here, by the way, is because we're going to use these to power furnaces and stuff. The other one is going to probably be used for crafters. I may move it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to try and keep this as compact as possible. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do that. I don't actually have any upgrades for this furnace, which is fine. Make sure auto output is on. And then that is iron. And I actually do have a little bit of iron on me that I'm just going to toss in here for me testing around with kind of making this design here. Because I actually did some testing, because I wanted to make sure we didn't have any problems with this, because I'm going to try and get this done this episode. This side, by the way, if you wanted to, you could add another obsidian furnace, add another drawer just like this, but I'm going to leave the nickel dust here by itself without touching it. We may want to do this in the future before this hits 2,000, just because in that way this will always be running, and this will always be full kind of thing, but nickel is not very common, so we shouldn't run into that very quickly. Okay. Let's go just push some of this in there. Go. All right. So the next portion of this is to get bricks. Now, bricks are EMCable. That's not going to be too hard. I'm going to grab an energy condenser, energy collector, probably 4 energy collectors. I'm not going to do antimatter relays on this one. I don't really see a point in it. And that should get us to the skillet. And then, of course, we will be using the sequential fabricators here to craft this. So I'm thinking, how do I want to do this? So this one well, they all require bricks, don't they? So maybe we have the bricks over on this side, but we also do need oak logs as well. So let's grab, where's my shovel? Because I want to think about this a little bit here. Because if we do bricks and they need 4, that would be a good spot. Same thing here. And then you've got like a 1 block gap here. So this would be wood block, the oak log. This would be bricks. And then from there, you should be able to then do crafting as needed. Because the bricks, they aren't going to really need any crafting. They are just bricks. But like the oak log, we're going to need to turn into a shovel, which is going to be something that we will do here in a little bit. So let me get back up to the surface, get the energy collector, and we should be off to the races. All right, let's get this going here. So I've got the energy condenser, and I'm honestly trying to think if I want to maybe like try and put these on the side here instead of just pushing it to the complete opposite side. I think we may do that. So if I do something like this, which I really probably don't need 4 of these, but we're going to do 4 of them. And this should keep this to where the size is able to be not really a factor. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we put glowstone on these as well. And the same thing over here. Okay. So this should be good. We'll do bricks on the right, wood on the left. That's not the right interface. I was like, wait, why can't I put an oak log in the top slot? There was no top slot. Okay. And then I probably want to do... Ooh, did I get rid of all my logs? Oh, no, they're in my inventory. I was like, where did all my logs go? I always try to keep a stack on me, as of right now, at least. All right, oak drawer. And I'm going to put this here. Actually, let's try... Let's put it right there. And then just grab item pipes. Okay, item pipe. Disconnect that. Oop, I did not mean to disconnect that. Give my stack of logs back. Okay. So that is bricks, that is oak logs. Okay, so the next portion is getting the sequential fabricator set up for the, I guess the skillet first, right? We don't really need anything else. How do we want to do this? Because I'm kind of thinking that we just do like a small drawer system here where we connect that, and that. I mean, that's it, 3 drawers. Because if we grab, yeah, that should work. All right, storage controller. Let's run back over here. Man, it looks like I'm almost out of quartz. I'm almost out of a lot of things, by the way. I really need to either do mining or just bank on this being able to give me enough resources to survive off of. So let's just put the controller down here. And then shift right click. And we'll connect all these guys. I don't care about the nickel or the raw iron. I just care about those 3 ingredients there. And then what I should be able to do is just pipe out of this with what items I need. So the sequential fabricator, that's going to be a problem. I can use laser IO. So I can either put the laser node here or the laser node here and then just have it push out to each of these things. Because at the end of the day, laser nodes, we're going to need them because calculation upgrades, or the calculation filters, is that what it's called? Laser, it's been a minute since I've actually played this pack. I've kind of taken a little bit of time off from the pack, so I'm kind of trying to reaccumulate myself. So counting filter from laser IO. And that would allow for us to, of course, put the items we need, which in this case is bricks and just iron ingots. So let's get the recipe set here. So that is these 2 items here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then brick. That is a skillet. And then we're going to do input on back, output on top. And then just do auto. And then we can do... Actually, let's just do this under. Let's just do it under. Okay, let me grab some laser nodes. Be right back. Alright, let's get this going. So I'm actually going to put the functional storage door down now here. And we'll just do this. And then we're going to do item card, which this is, of course, going to be the extract. And we're going to throw some overclockers in here. We don't really need full overclocking of capabilities here, but that should be enough. This, and I forgot to craft the counting filter. And then up here, and then we're just going to do iron and bricks. 64 and 64. And then do that. Okay? And then, of course, the next portion is actually powering these, which I actually kind of didn't think about. We should be able to do laser nodes. I haven't done laser node energy in a minute here. Let's actually just do this on camera. So I think I've got everything. I do not. I am missing these. That's okay. So we're going to need an input. We're going to need an output. And I think we'll grab 4. I think. And let's just make sure we put everything back away so I have more room in my inventory. So let's just get this put in a laser node. We're going to do extract. And of course, we are on the thermal generator. Let's do... 1,000's fine, honestly. We could probably even do less than 1,000. So we don't really need that, I don't think. And speed, there's an energy limit now. That's interesting. Okay. Did not know about that. And that should be good. And then we're just going to go here on the up direction. We're going to do power. And we're not changing channels or anything on any of these. But then we can connect this to here. And that should be providing power. Perfect, it is. And that is just a very good way to do this because the way we have things kind of set. But that is making skillets. Oh, that is funny. You can see the little handle sticking out of the top. That is great. And this is 256? No, 32. Once we get copper upgrades, it'll be 256. Okay. On to the next one, which is the cooking pot. The cooking pot is unique. We will be using sequential fabricators because of the liquid, which is something that somebody pointed out was, why am I not using RF tools for these? Well, I kind of forgot because it's been a minute since RF tools has been in a pack, in all honesty. But the crafters are fantastic 90% of the times. There's some hiccups here and there with them, but they are fantastic, but they handle fluids like a normal crafting operation, right? They take buckets of fluids rather than just the actual inner tank, which that's the biggest difference between sequential fabricator and crafters, these crafters at least, is that, but also the other crafters from RF Tools Utilities can do multiple recipes, which means that we can take a oak log and convert it into sticks and also planks, and then that way we're able to use them to craft a shovel, right? So I'm hoping we're going to be able to do this. I just need to go craft these, and they aren't complicated. Not really. You do need the machine frame, which is some blue dye. Nothing complicated. Let me just craft it off camera. Okay, we've got tier 1, tier 2, and we are going to shoot for tier 3 here. I don't really know the difference between the tiers. It looks like this one can handle up to 2 recipes, this one to 4, and this one to 8. I actually kind of forgot the shift thing was a thing. But yeah, we can just take a look at this real quick. This looks a little funny because this is the normal UI. And RF Tools doesn't really play friendly with the mod that changes this, but that's okay. So we can put recipes in here. You can see that there are several slots. So there's 8 in total on this one. And it looks like there's a new card slot here. I'm not actually sure what that is. What is that? I'm not sure what that is, honestly. Is it something like this? Doesn't look like it. I don't think I've seen that icon before. But I do see there's like a crafting card. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody knows what this is, because I don't remember this ever being here. I'm assuming it's a new feature to some capacity, and I just am unaware that it has been added. Okay, cool. New stuff, not aware of it. Genuinely not aware. But yeah, multiple recipes. This is your input, this is your output. You can change this to fast, you can do slow, ignore redstone, all of that fun stuff. You can even change the gradient look as well, which just kind of changes some of the buttons here. Pretty cool. Let's actually see. Okay, so the manual button does not work right now. All right. We will break it, sleep, and we'll go get it placed down. Okay, so let's get this done here. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to try and just put this in the ground here. Ooh, that actually, like, turned. I kind of forgot that I didn't even think RF Tools did that, but that's cool. Okay. So we need to grab, not the brick, we need the log, which is over here. And we are going to do the first recipe. The second recipe is a continuation of the first, which is sticks. And then the next recipe, which I don't have any of the ingredients for this, so I'm just having to craft them myself, which is fantastic, is that, and then let's see what happens. Just before I do anything else, we also do need to power this. I guess that's probably not a bad idea. And I put that in the wrong side. There we go. And let's throw a log in. Okay, so I see that's an issue. All items in the input are consumed. The result of crafter operation. Let's do external. This one. I think it's that one. Hold on, let's, So, no, it's this, I think, right? No, what am I looking at? Okay, so if I turn this on redstone, on to activate, if I do this, this, and this, and then I do remember current items, and then I do apply. So internal apply, and then this one would be external, which would go to the output. That's what I think I need to do. I apologize. It's just been a minute since I messed with this. But now what we should see is if I turn this back on, that's what should happen. Okay, perfect. So then, of course, if I do... I don't even know. Do I need to do a counting filter here? I might need to, so I've grabbed one anyway. But if I do that... Okay, I do need to have some kind of filter, so we're just going to do counting. And that should be perfect. Oop, I didn't grab a single log. I thought I did. Thought I hit it, but apparently I didn't. And then... Let's see, and that's not a big problem, where we're like just having a crap ton of sticks, because we have enough slots for one, which is exactly what we need. Okay, and then what we can do here is we may need to go grab more laser node item cards. Actually, do we? Yes, because I need to probably do counting filters, right? I think that's probably a good bet. Unless I were to... Nope, counting filters. Okay, let me be right back. Let's get this done quickly here. So, we are going to do... On the east direction, this is going to be channel 1 extract. And we'll just pull out as many as we can. It does, I mean, it's a 1-stack item, so it's not like it matters. And then channel 1 insert. And we're going to do counting filter of 1 wooden shovel. Because, of course, you don't want this thing to just shove a whole bunch of shovels in here. Or shovel a bunch of shovels, right? So we're just going to do that. And then we need bricks. And we need iron, which I've already bookmarked over on this side here. And so 64, 64, and then the sequential fabricator. And then I also need to remember on the up direction to put in this fancy energy card. And that should power that. And we need to make sure we're putting input on the bottom and then output on the top. And we also probably need to link this to the rest of these here. I thought it was because the little laser I saw. That was just my brain playing tricks on me. There is the cooking pot. That is exactly what we need. That should be beautiful. And I probably should have upgraded this to full overclocks. Just to make this faster. Okay. And that should be almost everything. I do have a sink and a fluid hopper here to just make this speedy as can be. And we'll do input on back. And that is cooking pots. Beautiful. Okay, so where is this and this? Boom. Okay. And then I know that these are too far out. So that's the next thing. How do we solve some of the issues where things are a little bit too far out, such as the nether? Well, I don't really have a great way to do that. Not that I know of. But we're going to test around with some things here real quick. As you can see that this actually cuts off right before the actual hole over there. We have what is called an ender drawer. And I don't know how these fully function. I'm not going to lie to you. No idea how these fully function. The ender drawer, I think I've looked at a couple times, but never really used it in any useful capacity. But I'm hoping that we can get some use out of this. So let's just send it and see what happens. So let's go outside real quick and grab some ender pearls. Let's make a stack of eyes of ender. That's fine. And then we just need some obsidian. Okay. We're going to make... So we need 2, 4, 6. 6 of these in total. And then we're going to need some drawers. So let's just make up a couple chests. And let's just convert those all. Okay. And it looks like we need some more wood. So let's just convert. 6. Okay. I'm hoping that I can get this to work. That guy looks a little funny. Okay, I have no idea why that music disc or whatever just happened is so loud. I'm assuming there's a creature somewhere that I just am not really caring to look for. Oh, he's right here. But yeah, his backpack music is super duper loud. Dispose of him real quick. What in the world music is that? Lena Rain Other Side. Goodness gracious, I wouldn't say it's a bad piece of music, but goodness, it was so loud. I just completely muted note blocks, by the way. Okay. Ender drawers. Back to this after being rudely interrupted. Let's see how these can function for us. Okay, I figured this out. I'm just a little goofy sometimes, apparently. So, because I can read, it's right here. It tells you how to do it. Linked drawer, sneak right click in here to change modes. Left click on an ender drawer to store its frequency. Not right click, because I was trying right click. But we're just going to do this on camera, because I did this one. Let's do this one. Okay, so we're going to lock the drawer, and we're going to left click. Okay, so see, this is one of the things that I was running into. And the reason is because you need to take out your offhand item, and you need to... Actually, hold on. Do you not need to do that? So, if I have this in my offhand and I punch... Okay, so I just need to punch the trim of the drawer, basically. And then I just need to sneak right-click, and that will then set the frequency. Okay? Not really that confusing. It's just a little bit odd to me to do it that way. But we're going to get these frying pans, or skillets, and we're going to put them in here. Also, this drawer stores 128 by default, which is fantastic, and it does not have actually any upgradability. So that's another thing. We can't upgrade these. So whenever I put this in the nether, the 256 hoglins in the nether, I won't be able to store all 256 back in there. And by the way, that's the frequency, as you can see, for that drawer there. And I did test. We are able to store these in other drawer systems. So I'm going to do that here. And we are going to make a tower of these drawers. I do not care. I think it just kind of looks kind of cool. And then we are going to sneak right-click. Let's see. Let's clear the frequency. And let's make sure this is set to add, and then sneak right-click. Because for some reason you have to sneak right-click on those drawers. You can't just right-click. I think it's intentional, because of course the frequency stuff, but I don't know. It just seems like a little weird to me. Okay. Let's get the nether one done. I'm just going to do the nether one off camera. It's going to be a little bit of trying to manage that inventory, because of course 256 down to 128 is a little bit of a devastating thing, but we will get over it. This will just work out. I hope this works cross-dimensionally. That is not something I have tested, but we shall see here in a second. So actually, I am kind of curious here, because I don't know this, and I wanted to see about this on camera, because I didn't think about this, but the fact that we may have some difficulties... Oh, gotta punch the trim, I forget. With the fact that this is going to be linking to two different drawer systems. I don't know if this will work. So we're going to do... that. Make sure we lock this as well. I'll need to go back and make sure I lock the other ones. So, in theory, I should be able to move this one. And this is the other hoglins. By the way, I'm just going to leave them in there. Are we doing good over here too, though? We are. Okay. Let's go back home. And let's see if I'm able to add this to this drawer system. I think we should be able to without any difficulty, but... we shall see. Oh, I guess I need to go back over and link the drawer, huh? Yeah, because I unlinked it. So let's just, like, send it. And then just, like... make an awful stair system here real quick. Okay. And then let's go link this back to our drawer system in the overworld. This is so ridiculous. This is absolutely uncalled for, but it's okay. I enjoy the fact that this just looks so funny. Okay, those all looked locked. Did we lock everything down there? We did. But I mean, that is everything done, right? That is all the stuff that we could ever need. We have a sequential fabricator, and I think we could send this. Right, there is a laser node right at the bottom here that I can tap into, and a power cable right there. So if I do that, and I go grab a laser node and counting filter and an energy pipe, we should be able to make the pig, and we're just gonna put it right here in the most, like, unorthodox spot, but that's okay. Let me go grab that stuff. All right, let's give this a full send here. Let's see what happens. So, energy pipe, laser node, and laser wrench. Just connect it, not fully for now. Up direction, counting filter, and then all of this good stuff. Of course, there's only a handful of things that stack, so we're just going to leave these at single items for now. That should be golden. And that should be everything, right? That there's no other requirements. Okay. And then we just do connect. And we just need to set this recipe. Okay, let me do this here real quick. Shouldn't be too complicated. So let's do skillet, cooking pot, chicken, sweet roll, shepherd's pie, stuffed hoglin, and rice roll melody. And input bottom, output top, oak drawer. Turn my magnet off. Everything should start funneling. This whole thing should fill. And that is pigs. That is... Oh, that's so funny. It's like its little head like even pops out. That is fantastic. Okay. But that is pigs. That is fantastic. I'm excited. So first, like right now we've got 3 million EMC. If we were to do... we don't have full overclocks on that. I'm kind of wondering, if we were to go grab full overclocks, would this speed this up? And I'm going to just void that bone meal here real quick. Let's just get rid of that. And I do have a node overclock, and we can do this, this, and this, I think. Overclock. Oh, there's no quartz, but that's okay. And I realistically only needed 2 of those, but that's fine. We will use the other one somewhere else down the line. We should just be able to, like, climb up there. And full send, 64. And then let's also do up, node overclock, and then just see if that goes any faster. Okay, I kind of want it to speed up quicker. Hold on. Let's do 15 ticks. We already have 11. Oh, this is nuts. We have 12 million EMC right there in this drawer. I'll put the salmon in there. Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, that is pigs automated. All right, that basically wraps up the pack, right? We don't really need to do anything else. No, I'm just kidding. That is... so, before we wrap everything, the episode up, not everything, goodness, I'm not in that mindset. We just got the pig done. So, where are we at with everything else? So, next episode, we're going to be fighting the Wither twice to get the Soulstone and the Archmage's Spellbook, okay? These aren't complicated at all. It looks like the biggest thing we have to do is maybe fight the Wilding Chimera, which is also going to be a thing. But we'll just make a kill box using mob grinding utils. That would give us the evoker right off rip, because we have everything else. We have the 4 ominous bottles, ominous key, trial key, bell. After that, we are golden. This stuff is kind of just... So this is exploring the depth, which we already have the conduit, because I went ahead and did that. This one's progressing towards AE2, Hawa, the goat trophy, which is a goat horn and just oak plank. So that one's not too bad. Looks like we could get that out of a pillager outpost. RF Tools Dimensions, Glacial Staff, which we'd have to start getting snow golems to spawn. Okay. That one's a little out of reach. That one, not so much out of reach, as long as we would go down with a warden So if we captured a Warden, this one wouldn't be too bad, especially for the Heart of the Deep. These other ones, we do need to go into the Deeper Dark to even worry about those. This one would require us to go into the Bumble Zone. That's not too terrible. And this one is just getting tons and tons of EMC. So I don't think a lot of these, besides like this one, and I mean, honestly, maybe this one. I don't. So this drops from a Skulk Leech and a Skulk Snapper. This drops from a Shattered. Was that a Shattered? Shattered. Okay, I thought that said something else for a second, like Shattered for some reason. And then a Stalker. So theoretically, you could automate this one. What is the total cost of the Warden here? So the Warden plushie is only $1 million. So that one, and that one would be no more automation. Like, it would be less automation than this one because you're just relying on these guys. Like, as it comes in, you would just send it into a crafter. I don't think that'd be a bad option. But I think that's kind of where we're at, right? There's a lot of things that we need to do. And maybe we will just start focusing on AE2. I was kind of thinking, you have a couple options with this pack, of course, but you also do have the add-ons and stuff that I think are added specifically for Project E and AE2, if I'm not mistaken. Like, expanded. Because there's the... Let's see, hold on. Let's go inside real quick so I don't actually just blow up something or die here. So, with this, there is the storage. And inside of storage, you can see there's tons more add-ons in here than there is with all of this stuff. But I was kind of thinking... Oh, I didn't realize... We could have got a lot of this stuff for free. Ooh, I will take that stuff, though. I'm going to ignore that one for now. I don't know. I don't really know what's better, but I know this one's got, like, Applied Mechanist. This one's got Applied Flux, Extended AE, Easy, Wireless AE2. Anything from Extended. That's the wireless things that we keep using in Craftoria, if I remember correctly. So this one's not a bad option. I also know, of course, there is stuff out there that would be useful for... where is it, actually? I know there is something in here. Yeah, this thing. EMC, storage, IO, access everything. But I'm wondering if this is accessible through refined storage. Because if it's not, then that's okay, but I wasn't sure. And I know we don't have anything like Reborn. Oh, we do have Reborn. We do have Reborn storage in here. I'm not sure. I really am not sure. Because I've just been doing so much AE2, it would be nice to do refined storage. But maybe we'll wait on doing refined storage and we will just do AE2. Since we got the Certus Quartz crystals and everything, I might just send AE2. I am excited for refined storage too, but I've been burned by the 1.19 version of refined storage, and I'm feeling like it's going to cause the same issue where there's some chunk unloading situation that causes a lot of problems. And I don't really feel like dealing with that. So let's just send AE2. That's my final decision. And we're going to wrap up the episode here. So next episode, Withers, getting into AE2, and finally getting rid of all this crappy storage that we are dealing with. Because, yeah, I'm terrible with storage systems and stuff. And we'll just skip right to AE2. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!